spend the majority of your day, whether that's a job or all of the time outside of your work time, to do what's important to you, like what benefit does that have? What does that mean for the rest of your life?
But with that question, you mentioned like doing what's important for you as a job, or do you mean just the time spent after work, or do you mean like should you not work if that's what you can achieve?
Yeah, I guess what I'm thinking is
Sorry, I just didn't know you overlapped yourself. I didn't know.
Well, yeah, I was just thinking like because if you can make if your job is your passion and they are the same thing, then obviously then your values are being met by working, whereas for some people they don't have that luxury, or they think that they have a belief that makes them think that they can't do what they want. So I guess what does it do to someone? So if you're in that situation where you can't do what you want, you can't do what's important to you and what really matters, then you're not fulfilled in areas of your life, or as many areas of your life as you could be.
I think that what I'm learning much more recently is that I actually didn't know what I wanted up until very recently.
Why do you think that was?
Because I didn't fully explore what happiness I could achieve by doing what I wanted to do, purely what I wanted to do, as opposed to settling for what I thought I could achieve with my mates. Like, you know, I'd like to do this, but my mates don't want to, for example. But I think what you have to do is, you know...
only do something if your friends were willing to do it as well, is that what you mean?
Yeah, I mean, you know, coming out of high school, going into work, and then still spending time with your friends on the weekend. It's kind of like life doesn't lend an opportunity. Life doesn't give you the opportunity to make the friends that you need to make to enable you to do the things that you want to do. You have to go out there and explore what it is that makes you happy, because no matter how connected you are with someone, there'll always be something that they'll want to do that you don't.
Yeah.
And there'll be things that they can't achieve within your friendship. And, you know, it's also like you just really need to explore what makes you happy and where you can achieve fun, because I had a very limited knowledge of what fun was for me. You know, about 7 years ago, it was play games,
Video games.
yeah, get drunk and club and try to bang as many birds as I could.
Classy man.
Yeah, and that's just like, I just felt like, you know, we're just having like a laugh with your mates, but I mean, in all that, what depth can you really achieve with someone? I mean, what conversation is there? I mean, you don't really talk about your faults with someone that you just drink with every weekend.
You can't talk in a club, and you can't. It never lends the opportunity to have a deep conversation. But I think what I picked up from that was the key is not knowing what you want because you've never asked yourself. It's like we constantly are changing, so it's like we have to refresh those ideas all the time, as often as possible, really. When I first came to Norwich, I felt a bit like so I wasn't working, so I basically come from Thailand where I'd been travelling, and then came to Norwich, and then was suddenly like, oh right, so I'm still travelling, but I'm in one place now, and I'm going to be staying here for a bit. And so then I got a bit upset and a bit like bored and didn't know how to spend my time, and then I made that list, and I wrote down a list of all the things that made me happy, and then it felt really good, because then although I wasn't actively always work and making sure I would take as many off as possible. It was good to just have them there stuck on the wall above my bed, so I could kind of glance at them and be like, oh yeah, that will make me happy, or like, I don't know, it felt inspiring to see that. And again, whenever I've updated it, or I've not updated that, but done inner work when I've thought, okay, well, what makes me happy now? What do I enjoy doing now? What do I do when I feel my best? I think that's, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, never assume that what you know and what you enjoy is all that you can know, all that you can enjoy. I feel really sorry for people that, you know, you try and give new information to, but they don't seem to appreciate it or want to listen. It's just like, just open up and try to learn new things.
For a little deer.
You know, like,
be open to new things, be open to trying new experiences, new ideas, exploring them.
Yeah. I see too many people that have just followed a typical path. I mean, I could have easily stayed on that path. I mean, for fuck's sake, I've never liked watching football, but because of my mates, I brought fucking season tickets, do you know what I mean? It's like, because I went to a football game, the atmosphere was pretty cool, but it's just so typical, and
Dull.
it's just in your face, like, oh, I should try and enjoy this, because there aren't that many things to enjoy.
Like beer, like we were saying, my friend and I were saying about beer, like neither of us liked beer, it was just like that's what everyone else was drinking at that time in their life, so we just thought we may as well start drinking it, start liking it. It's exactly the same, isn't it?
I've never liked alcohol, and when I started drinking, I just thought, well, the point is to get drunk, so I'm just going to drink vodka and get it over and done with quickly. So I don't know, because I mean, you can drink like, you know, less vodka and get drunk quicker than having to drink loads of beer.
Yeah.
So that's what I used to do. But yeah, I never, it's like Callum was saying earlier about coffee. He didn't like it, but he just loved the smell of it. But he didn't like the taste, but eventually he grew to love it because he kept trying it.
Well, that was it, even though he worked in Costa, so then he was around it all the time, and then I think he could have it for free there when he was working, so then,
yeah, I think there's so many people, like, keep trying these things to make themselves like it.
Well, no, like with olives, so I didn't like olives as a kid.
Me neither.
But then my dad always told me, oh, I didn't like olives when I was your age, but then as I grew up, then I started, or then I one day tried them on something or in something, and I liked them. And there's been a couple of things that he said like that, because my dad doesn't like beer either, but he says no, ignore that. Yeah, so I guess like getting back to the core of this, so like value, so it's like important to do what you want and to actually think about like, so what do I want, what makes me feel good, and like, and to actually stand by that and have integrity with your word. Yeah, because I think like for me, because I haven't had a job for about a year now, and it's been so good in so many ways and not good in other ways, but it's made like, I'm not prepared to do a job that I won't get satisfaction from, and that's not satisfaction in like day-to-day enjoyment, I guess, but I mean, does it meet my values? Do I support the company? Do I think they're doing a good job? And it's kind of hard, it's just really hard, and I just think, well, actually I don't even want to be employed, I want to be self-employed and be my own boss and not have to worry about taxes and stuff, and I want to do everything my own way because that's my values, but then it makes it really difficult, so like I want to go travelling, but I have to think, okay, well, how am I going to make the money to do all these things? So it's like, are my values then letting me down? Are my values negatively impacting me right now in my inability to save money, getting a job, doing something, because I value myself more than the job, like my happiness more than the job, or my happiness now more than the job, because obviously it would bring me happiness in the future to have that money to travel with.
Yeah.
like to have more time to do. So that's, you talk about things that you want to do when you go travelling, and so it's like, so you don't have the time to do it now because your time is eaten up by your job, and then obviously with the time you have outside your job is like time for unwinding rather than focusing on your goals and dreams and stuff.
Yeah, when it comes to creativity and stuff like that, then no, not fulfilled at all. Well, no. I mean, I enjoy my job because it's varied. There's lots of variety to it. So I work with lots of different websites, and yeah, and it's.
Does it meet your values?
No, I mean, I would only use my skill set for money and to help me with any websites that I make or help with. I mean, I like my skill set. I think it's very useful. I think, you know, when I do go travelling and start trying to explore the, you know, more avenues of my skill set, then that's when I'll start to enjoy it more. But for now it is just like nice, just honing my skills.
Yeah.
I suppose learning more about what I do before I start trying to do it for myself. Because I'm surrounded by people that are experts, and I'm learning from them. So
Yeah. So, and one of your values is learning new things. So arguably you are meeting more values than you might think by
Yes.
working in that kind of environment.
yeah, I suppose. I mean, I haven't really put down a tick list of what my job can help me to achieve with regards to values. But I mean, I often get a lot of satisfaction from turning big jobs into little jobs, and I do that a lot at work. It's probably my favourite part of the day is when I'm able to gain insight from doing something which seems massive, but actually if you apply a few a few formulas and you play with a data set to make it more understandable, then and get the information you want, then that's pretty rewarding.
Yeah.
And it's not just actually, you know, yeah, I mean, I suppose what I learn at work does help me explore things that I could do in future, which helps me to get creative.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
So I guess there's like all these different avenues of like maybe there are different times in your life to dedicate time to your values and things that are important to you. Like maybe so for you, maybe it's like using this time to meet these values of yours, and then they will help you in the future. Or like my situation where I'm not working, so it's like all of my time is what do I want to do now? Like, because like that, for example, like so for me, like I sometimes feel overwhelmed and like I have too much time, and it's like I know it's ludicrous because it's like, why have the same amount of time as everybody else? I'm not doing a job that requires money, and like I didn't value the research and the reading and stuff that I do as work because I'm not making money from it. And actually, like, I don't know, it's like I still see it, I see it as a job now. I see it as like my job to myself to improve myself for the benefit of myself in the future, so I can just continually improve myself, because I feel like until the better I get at life and my thoughts and my learnings, they will help me in the future to help other people. And the more knowledge and experience I accumulate, the more I have to offer people in the future. So
More options you have to play with.
Yeah. So by valuing my time as like the most right now, it's like I guess that's what I've gained from it. Yeah. So what do you think about your values? What do you follow your values? Do you
what you're asking me. But I just want to say the three takeaways from this is, you know, just review your values, question what it is that you enjoy, and seriously
And why you
question.
enjoy it.
Yeah. And seriously question, you know, is it possible for you to enjoy it more? Because, I mean, you might think, no, because I'm doing this, and if I do this, I can't do this. But, you know, jacking in your job isn't the end of the world. You know, for example, that might be a situation for a lot of people, or, you know, leaving a relationship that's not helping you to make new friends, or, you know, it's not helping you to progress with life. And, you know, you may feel like tied down by someone. So just review. I'm just trying to highlight a few key areas like work, relationships. It's usually the sort of thing that hold people back.
Yeah.
So just sort of carefully review what it is you can do to enjoy more of what you enjoy, and what you enjoy now isn't the only thing that you can enjoy. You can
Find pleasure in other
I mean, make new friends, I guess, is the best way to
meet new people.
It's not just that, it's the fact that you can't think about something sometimes if you don't know, if you aren't inspired to think about it. It's like,
Yeah, I think like a really good technique for like making all of this really easy and right, because it's all, yeah, it's literally just get a pen and paper and write a question, or your keyboard if you prefer to type, and then just write at the top of the page what makes me happy, make a list of all of that, or like what makes me feel good, what do I do when time flies and I'm completely immersed in it, and just keep listing. And it's okay to repeat yourself, just get it all out of your head, and just when you think you can't give any more, push yourself harder and keep going for it. Just, you want to end up with like as many things as possible, and then from there group together the things that are similar and the things that are the same thing, and then maybe put them in an order. I think for me it was really valuable to put them in an order, and then I could see, I could say, right, this is what's really important to me, and this is my real life. Okay, is this like go through like a tick list? Are these being met now? Yes or no? And then shape your life from there accordingly. And I think by actually asking yourself the question, like, do you remember when you were at school and you would have a question, you have to answer it, and it was always much easier than just having to start an essay from nowhere, where it's like, write about this, rather than like a direct question that requires a direct answer. Makes it very much more possible. So there we are, just give that a go. And failing that, I have 5 spaces for values elicitation that's for free, because I want to get some more experience in helping people discover what their values are before I start charging for it. So get in touch with me at anna@bethechangejournals.com, and